Top bosses, welcome to our today's live stream. Today is a special day because we are about to discuss the most important topics that homeowners are interested. If you are in diaspora, if you are in Africa, wherever you are probably thinking about the investment that you are about to start a building. This could be your dream home, and this could definitely be a 4-bedroomed apartment or a 4-bedroomed house or a 5-bedroomed house. Why do I refer to it as your dream home? Because today we are going to talk about this important aspect that is referred to as all in suit. All right. What does that mean, my top bosses? In a minute, we are going to dive deeper into it. And if you are ready for our today's stream today, and you're ready to gain as much value as possible when it comes to the material list for wiring in a 4-bedroom stroke, a 5-bedroom, all in suit, top bosses, hit that like button. And also, we understand that majority of you watch us without being a subscriber. Why, top boss? While we are about to make history of having 100,000 subscribers, these are purely electrical content subscribers who actually love the work that we are doing. Top bosses, in the comment section, let me know where are you streaming from, or in the chats, let me know where are you watching us from. So this one is definitely the materialists for 4-bedroom materialists. All right, material list, isn't it? So that is our focus for today for a 4-bedroom or a 5-bedroom house, all in suit. Now, top bosses, we are going to discuss definitely about the wiring. So we better have wiring here, isn't it? Wiring material lists. Now, like you know already, we have been discussing about a single room, a single room, a bed sitter, as well as a 1-bedroom and a 2-bedroom. We covered that. We covered a 3-bedroom apartment. And so today we are discussing about 4-bedroom stroke 5-bedroom. But what is special? All are en suite. Why are they all en suite? For many families, you find that they decide to work on privacy aspect of their home. So they ensure that every bedroom in that home, be it a 4-bedroom apartment or a home, be it a 5-bedroom apartment or a home, they ensure that all have bathrooms or restrooms inside each and every bedroom. Apart from having the common area or the common bathroom in the house, they have each and every bedroom with that facility. Now, a very important thing is to also note that outside they could be having another bedroom or another servant quarter. So the servant quarter will also have that facility or that feature. They could also be having a bedroom. No, they could also be having a restroom, or what we refer to as a bathroom, as well as a toilet somewhere outside in the compound, top bosses. So in the event that you have visitors or you have a party that is going on, people don't have to step inside the bedrooms, because these will definitely inconvenience on, or it will definitely be infringing on the privacy of you, the owner, or the host. All right. Now, moving on very fast today, my top bosses, I want us to talk about the pipe work. Like we have been starting, so we start with the pipe work, and we will go straight into discussing about the key areas that you require to have the pipe work done. Of course, we require pipe work done in every region, apart from where we are burying the cables underground. We will have special cables that are supposed to travel underground. Top bosses, in the comment section or even in the chats, let me know, what is this type of cable that you're supposed to have underground? All right, we're not using the PVCs here, we're not using the normal cables that we do have, the single cables or the sheathed cables. We are using a special cable. Top bosses, let me know which one is it. All right, sound check, are we doing okay? Perfectly harvesting the sound from the mic. Incredible. Incredible. Thank you so much. Top bosses behind the scenes, we have our top bosses, Margaret and Director Lee, doing the most, ensuring that everything is as perfect as you can see. And special thanks to all of them. Thank you, Mag, for the good job. Thank you, Director Lee. Really do appreciate the work that you are doing. So when it comes to the pipe work, my top bosses, like we have been doing, we will start with 20 conduits. Now, when it comes to the conduits, we'll also have the 25 we'll also have the 32 Now, you may ask, when it comes to these conduits, why start with 20, 25, and then eventually a 32 Remember, in our previous videos that we have been tackling, and I will really say that it is important for you to start watching the videos that we did, starting from, let's say, a one-bedroom apartment will definitely help you, give you an edge as to why we arrive at this, because there we have dived deeper into discussing that, and definitely I know my assistant Maggie will be ensuring that she includes that video in the description, the link of the one-bedroom or two-bedroom and a three-bedroom apartment somewhere there, so that at least it can be easier for you to watch. When it comes to the lighting, we discussed that indeed we require 20 conduits, we require 25 as well as 32 So I will not really go deeper into the pipework, because again, remember, we require to have, does that make sense? We require to have, or we need to have, or we require. Okay, all the same thing. So we also need to have, okay, Kizungu. We also need circular boxes. So here I will just indicate accessories. Allow me to do that, right? Accessories, so that we can go faster, because again, we have a lot of lists, we have a lot to discuss when it comes to this kind of installation. Now, top bosses will also be discussing about the design. This is very important, because remember, we might be having a floor here. So this one definitely is a slab, okay? So we can probably be having, this one is the first one, or let me just indicate first, and then we could be having the ground, isn't it? So if we have several rooms upstairs, we need to have definitely a consumer unit or a distribution board somewhere here. So you can refer to it as a DB. And then upstairs, we also require to have a consumer unit. It is important for you, while you are designing, to link the two, right? When designing this home or this house, it is usually important for you to work hand in hand with the architect, so that you know that this is a common area where these will be installed. And in many cases, when the architect is designing, they will always give a provision for that. So all that you need to do is to follow the drawing, my top boss, if you are an electrician. Also, if you are the client, you need to coordinate, or you need to collaborate with these professionals, because if you go against the design that they have given you as architects, it will be very difficult for engineers to implement whatever is in the drawing on the actual work in the ground or on the site. Of course, we normally refer to that project as a site, before it becomes a home. I know many of you will probably pray for it and, officially open their house, so that you can shift from a project or a construction site all the way to a home, So that is what we normally do. Now, my top boss, it is important for you to understand that if you are an electrician, if there is a meter board somewhere, or a meter box, or an electrical, let me just refer to it as an electrical board, or let me just say meter board. So let's just go with that, meter board. You need to find the best way that you can have these two connected, these two linked together. So we agreed last time that I'm not so good at drawing. So you just flow with me, my top bosses, because the most important aspect are in the details. Like we say, the devil is usually in the details. So you just need to flow with me, because if at all you mess in the details, then you will mess on everything. So from the main distribution board, which is this one here, you need to connect the meter board or the meter box to this DB, and then from this DB it has to be tapped all the way up floor, or on the top of the floor that is upstairs. Remember, we can even have something that is usually referred to as an attic. An attic is, you know, uh, the upper room where in many cases, many stories in the Bible, people used to go and pray. Many people nowadays, I see when they construct homes, they use it as a bar area. Anyway, does it really matter? You as an electrical technician, the most important thing is to provide electrical service for these areas. So if they have this attic, they have the first floor, they have the ground floor. The real question is, this distribution board or the electrical service areas, are they performing the duties that they are supposed to? Remember, here in the attic, we will have what we refer to as another consumer unit. We also have this one as the consumer unit. We have agreed it has to be in the common area. Yesterday, while we were discussing about a 3-bedroom house, master and suite, we agreed that indeed we need to have the distribution board or the consumer unit in the common area. If you make a mistake and this lands in one of the bedrooms, the person that is living or sleeps in that bedroom might one day decide to lock it up and then be out of the house even for several days, you know. The real question is, in case of an emergency, my top boss, will they be able to access it and switch it off? What is happening? Umekuja wapi? Umekuja hapa. Kwa hivyo ulisema go live. It's okay. You have people watching, it's okay. No worries. Yeah, top bosses, if you're finding value out of our today's stream, hit that like button. All right, so we are going on well, and we are progressing well. Top bosses, if you have any questions in the comment section, let me know, and I definitely appreciate when you give your feedback. Now, top bosses, we are supposed to ensure that on this consumer unit, all right, remember, we do not install an electrical installation just so that it can protect itself against self-sabotage. There are many functions when it comes to an electrical installation. First, the electrical installation is supposed to protect. That is the first one. The first one, protect the users, my top bosses. I think the integrity of an electrical installation needs to be edged on this number one, because there's no point of having an electrical installation if it does not protect the user. If at all it is not safe. Imagine if you were to go and switch on that light bulb, and before the bulb comes on, you have to be electrocuted or you have to receive an electric shock. What a life. If you are supposed to switch on that charger, you know, to power your computer, like a beautiful computer that our top boss Maggie has here, and then every time she activates the socket, she has to receive an electric shock. That is insane. So it has to, number one, protect the user. Who is using that socket? They have to be very safe. That is consideration number one. Number two, my top bosses, it has to protect the property against an electrical fire. Protect the property. So definitely, okay, property. Okay, property, yes. So assuming that top boss Lee has gotten to a point where he's very wealthy, he has invested his money in the property. Imagine losing that property due to the negligence of the person who installed the electrical work. Because again, remember, you can have a very good investment, but a simple mistake committed by an electrician will definitely burn down the property. So definitely we have said that we need to ensure that it protects that. At number three, my top bosses, it has to protect itself against self-sabotage. So let me just write here, self-sabotage. When we talk about self-sabotage, what do we mean? The electrical installation is supposed to work the way it was designed. It is not supposed, for instance, if I may give an example, once it is carrying current to heavy loads, especially the heaters, it is not supposed to start overheating and then the insulation coming out and then the electrical cables short-circuiting each other, leading to a lot of faults, a lot of fires, a lot of breakers tripping. Imagine even in your home, you are watching your favorite movie and then all of a sudden the MCB that is supplying the current to the sockets that is connected to the TV that you are watching all of a sudden stops working, and then you have to go and lift that circuit breaker. There is a huge problem. You are not supposed to go through that. All right, top bosses, enough of all of that. But today I wanted us to focus majorly on the design. So the design is very, very important apart from the material. So on pipework, we have mentioned that is what we need. And moving on to wiring, we need to talk about the most important thing when it comes to electrical installation, of course, which is on the cables. So top bosses, when it comes to the cables, did you know that the price of cables is really, really rising? And we are supposed to advise our client that the best cables, okay, they're not expensive, but the best cables are supposed to be copper, made of copper material. All right. So there are other cables that come in the country and you find that they are very, very cheap. Do not advise your customer to go for those cables simply because they will go and save on money. They say cheap is expensive. So when you just buy materials and especially cables and you are buying based on price, remember one day it will cost you, because these cables which are substandard may also result to burning of your property. How does that happen? For people, majority of the electricians who decide to conduct electrical installation in the ceiling and refuse or do not want to get tired. In fact, even if the customer has bought conduits, they don't want to put the cables in the conduits because they know that the customer will not access the ceiling anyway to check on the work done, and therefore they expose the cables. Remember, in case there is a short circuit and the circuit breaker fails to trip, all right, there will be an issue. Why? Because there could be a spark in the ceiling. Once there is that line or the face coming in contact with the neutral or the earth, there will be a spark. If the circuit breaker fails to detect that spark, or even the arcing, remember, arcing is not short-circuiting. Arcing cannot result to a circuit breaker tripping because it means that there is a loose joint, right? So either way, there will be a release of a spark due to that arcing. This spark can escalate into a flame. So just flow with me. I know I'm very passionate about that topic, but you may have noticed that I've covered the same in other videos, but this is a very serious matter because people lose homes because of this negligence. If it escalates into a flame, it may result into a fire. A fire which is very hazardous, especially in the ceiling. You find that the wood in there is very dry because of the temperatures that are up there. I have been there, especially during the day, and the wood or the timber in there that is making the roof structure is very dry. And so any flame can definitely lead to a fire. The fire can burn down the entire property. So imagine you have invested in a 4-bedroomed house, a 5-bedroomed house that is all-ensuite, which is definitely your dream home, and then a fire happens. What a tragedy. All right, top bosses, if you're finding value, hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed, because there's someone that I'm seeing watching us here with a lot of passion, and I appreciate that it could also be very important for you to subscribe. Would you please subscribe right now? Subscribe. Hit it. Yes. Yes, right now. Thank you. Thank you, top boss. Now, moving on, we have agreed that when it comes to cable, the material matters, isn't it? The size of the cable matters. And when we talk about the size, let me just go in details a little bit. When it comes to sizing, my top bosses, we agreed that 10 mm, this is the size of the mains coming from the meter board. So this one is the meter board. The meter board to the main distribution board. So this is a 10 mm. And I will also add that from the first DB to the second consumer unit, also let us use a 10 mm. Because you're not going to dictate what these people will have in their rooms, what these people will connect or plug in this common area. Yes, the kitchen may be located on this side, but what if they decide to modify their home and have somewhere where they can also have a makeshift kitchen. I've worked with clients like that, where they decide that, there is a very big space that we left here, and we think that we can have a makeshift kitchen, so that if someone upstairs wants to fix something, they don't necessarily have to go all the way down to the main kitchen. There is a name for that, I'm forgetting. So they can simply fix something there. So they can decide that we want a cooker here, so ensure that there's a provision for that. And so the only thing, because the cooker requires 6.0 mm cable, ensure that the cable supplying power or current from this dB to this dB is a 10. The same thing should happen from here to the attic top bosses, so that in case they also decide to have something here, a heater, a pump, will that cable be able to sustain? We want to ensure that the wiring that we are doing here, all right, we are carrying out, has to sustain the property. All right, we don't want to go back and start doing some renovations once the customer is already living in this home. Do you think that makes sense, my top boss, especially for clients who are able to pay all these upfront? Unless you have a client who says, you know what, John, I think that is too expensive for me at the moment. Where can we get started? So in that case, we normally advise the customer, at least from this to here, ensure that it is actually 10 mm. And from here to here, ensure that it is a 6 minimum, right? But we insist on a 10. That is if you are in consultation with the customer and they tell you, you know what, in the first floor, I only want to have bedrooms, right? And even if I will have a common area, it is only a socket where we'll plug the charger, isn't it? So definitely it means that there will not be, an overload of anything. But again, you tell them, in case in future you decide to make improvements and have a common area or have a common kitchen, makeshift kitchen, where you will connect a cooker, then we have to upgrade these cables. Let it be in the notes. Let it be in the contract document that you sign with the customer before you install. Otherwise, you'll be in trouble in case they decide to say that you are actually lying, because it happens, my top bosses. Now, moving on, let us move on to this attic. The attic, what do we expect will be there? We expect probably to have lights, sockets, and the rest. So we can work with a 6. All the same, you can also use a 10. Top bosses, do we have any question? Lee or Maggie, do you have any question? Oh, people are saying hello. And for me, I will salute them because they are our top bosses. Salute to you. All right. Are they getting value? All right. If you're getting value, top boss, hit that like button. How many top bosses are there? Incredible. Majority of the people are watching this live stream. Apparently, I'm hearing 11,000. Wow. Wow. You guys are amazing, giving us all the numbers. And we are expecting also that to match with the likes that we receive, as well as the people who have subscribed to our channel. And thank you so much for special top bosses who are watching this stream right now and have been fans from day one, from the time that we started from 0 to 100 to 1,000. And right now, we are cruising above 50,000, and to be specific, at 74,000. We are on our way to 100,000 subscribers. Will you be part of the history in the making, top bosses? Smash that like button and also subscribe to our channel, so that when we'll be cutting that cake, you will be the reason for that 100,000 subscriber count. All right. Now, my top bosses, of course, in each and every consumer unit, in each and every distribution board, we require to ask ourselves, why a distribution board? What is the purpose of a distribution board? All right. So the main purpose is that there will be, what comes in is a single cable for earthing, for line, and for neutral, which is a 10 mm. So those are 3 cables. But now you may ask, why is it that we have a lot of cables in the consumer unit or in the distribution board, especially in the consumer unit? It is because we are creating several circuits. All right. So out of what will be coming in, we have several circuits going out. We have the circuits for lights. All right. So even in the ground floor, we have a distribution board, we have a circuit for lights. What we feed upstairs, we also do a replica of what we have done right here. So for lights, we also have for sockets or power outlets. We will also have for a cooker, so basically an electric cooker. And we will also have for instant showers or a geyser. In fact, let me just stick with instant shower, because that is what we are used to, especially here in Kenya or here in Africa. You find that majority of our top bosses who watch us from Germany, UK, USA, and Canada refer to it as a suicide shower. And I don't know why you do that, my top bosses, because we are not suicidal. We love our lives. We appreciate our lives. And indeed, these instant showers serve us so well. Apart from the instant showers, my top bosses, we can have a pump somewhere. Remember, in the property, it is not good for you to or in the meter board. Awesome. So moving on, my top bosses, what we have here for lights, we need to have something that is very important, which is the MCB. The question is, assuming that you are dealing with a customer, and in many cases when you deal with customers, assume that they know nothing. You, as a person who went to school, sat in a class of electrical installation, sat in a class of physics in high school, are the one who is supposed to answer these questions seamlessly, so that the customer will understand whatever you're talking about. Don't assume that everyone knows simply because you know. So when they ask you what is the purpose of the MCB, don't be like, now look at this one here. You can't be serious. We must have an MCB in your house, otherwise you want it to burn down, and then you are laughing. You will lose that customer. You lose that customer to someone like myself, who will dedicate his time and dedicate his time and explain to the customer like a 2-year-old child until they understand. You go with MCB. You say MCB in full, miniature circuit breaker. You can even have a sample. Tell them that this one protects against a short circuit. This is the thing that normally trips, or you may find it down in that main switch. You go all the way. Be petty with your customer if you want to win their hearts. So the MCB protects against a short circuit in the light. So they will ask you also. This is something that we've been experiencing, and we decided to always invest our time with our customers. So if they ask, why 10 MCBs? You tell them that we have several circuits in your home because your home has a lot of lights. So for me, a 4-bedroom or a 5-bedroom apartment home is a bit bigger in size compared to what we've been dealing with, which is a 1-bedroom, a 2-bedroom, as well as a 3-bedroom. So what I tell this customer, we require several MCBs for lights. So for lights alone, we require 3. Then they'll be shocked. Why? For lighting alone, why not 1? I will try and explain to them that we need 1 for security lights, so that in case there is a problem in the kitchen and that bulb has caused the MCB to shut down, the entire home is not in darkness. Well, they will agree to that, isn't it? And then the second one, they will ask, why have the second one? I will tell them, the kitchen is a very important area in the home. The kitchen and the dining area will be served by 1 MCB, right? And also the common area, all right? And then the other MCB is for the bedrooms. So For lighting alone, let us have several circuits for lighting, not only one. The security lights. If there's a problem in the security lights, does it mean that people will not cook in that home because they are in darkness? No, 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 no. Let the problem be localized at the security lights so that tomorrow you can ask the electrician to come and check. All right. Okay. And if you're dealing with an electrician who delays or lies to you, oh yeah, I'm coming. Most of the people will do that, and that is very, very unfortunate. If you are watching and you're an electrician, you have promised the customer that you will show up tomorrow at 8 a.m. Do that. All right. Don't lie to the customer because you will lose them to people like us who keep our promises. Okay, we are not perfect, but we try to. Now, my top bosses, when it comes to the common areas such as the dining as well as the kitchen, have another circuit breaker. Also, there is a common area which is definitely the common restroom or the bathroom, and also the corridors or the staircase way have a circuit breaker that is serving those common areas, so that in case it fails, it does not affect the kitchen. I mean, it does not affect the activities that are happening in the bedrooms, assuming that they are having their online meetings in the bedroom, they want to do their stuff, they are not affected. So that is what we have said. First, one is for the bedrooms, the second one is for the security, the other one is for the common areas. Does that really make sense, top bosses? Yeah. Thank you. We have a question. Mm-hmm. Can one use only one breaker? Yeah. Or supposedly the three lights, because they think the load is not heavy. And or can one improvise maybe a high MCB rating to complement the three breakers? Great question. My answer is this. The reason why we have several breakers, aka several aka several circuits, is for the convenience of the customer. If, for instance, the kitchen has a problem and it has caused the MCB to trip, does it mean that this customer will also suffer loss of lights in the bedroom, my top boss? Why should they go through that? Remember, in the bedroom for a master and suite, it means that the same circuit breaker serving that bedroom will activate the bedroom as well as the toilet. That means that they will have light in the restroom, they will be able to shower, they will also have light in the bedroom itself. Okay? If they want to study, they will study. Now imagine the master bedroom does not have light because of a problem in the kitchen. How does that really make sense? The master wants to wake up early and prepare and leave. And so they have to suffer because of a fault that is in the kitchen, really. Now, to the second part of that question, he actually asked, why not use a bigger circuit breaker, isn't it? Now, the reason is, assuming that this fault is not that big enough to trip. Like, let's say he has a 10 mm, not a 10 mm, a 10 ampere MCB, isn't it? And yet we are talking about a 5 ampere MCB. So if he decides to go with a 10 or a 16, all right, and then this fault is able to trip a 5 ampere MCB but not able to trip a 16 ampere MCB, at the end of the day, it is a fault. It will definitely be resulting to what we were talking about, arcing or a short circuit, or it will start to draw a lot of current. That is why you find that a customer who is not using electricity that much is spending on a lot because of these errors in the house. So we need to ensure that we put in the correct MCBs so that we can sort that. And I know that our top boss is about to ask another question when we start talking about our instant showers, the instant showers. What was the name of the top boss who asked that? Power Solutions. Incredible. Top boss Power Solution. In fact, it is triple M, isn't it? Thank you so much for always being proactive on the stream. Triple M Power Solution, meaning triple MPS. Wow! Triple MPS, power supply. All right, Power Solutions. Incredible. So another thing triple M that you need to know is that when we get to the instant showers, assuming that you have 2 instant showers, and then you decide that, you know what, instead of connecting a 32 ampere MCB, separate ones, let me just have a bigger one, like even 50 or 60. Do you have such? Yes. A 60 ampere MCB to serve the two. What if one shower has a fault, but this fault, which is able to trip a 32 ampere MCB, goes on without tripping a 60 ampere MCB? Does it mean that you have resolved the fault? Absolutely no. So you'll continue having problem because of using the wrong size. Again, remember, if you are only using one instant shower, all right, and it is drawing, majority of the time you find that instant showers will only draw around 20 to 25 amperes. That is in terms of the current that is flowing through that circuit, all right, in case the shower head is activated. You find that 20 ampere to 25 ampere MCB current is enough to flow without any issue in a 32 ampere MCB unless there is a fault. So if you have a 60 ampere MCB and then the fault does not go beyond 30 amperes, it means that this is a huge problem, can even result to a life-threatening incident in that home. Any other question? All right. And I really do appreciate our top bosses who are watching. Hit that like button if you're finding value out of our today's video. And also another important thing, subscribe. Don't watch without subscribing. That is all we ask from you. All right. Now, from there, another important thing that we need to talk about is definitely the socket. Several circuits need to be there. Brian, thank you so much. It is such a great honor to have you all the way from Ruaka, that is in Kenya, in fact, Kiambu County. Special salute to you, our top boss. Let me know where you're watching from, and even if you will be watching this video as a recorded version of our stream that is happening right now, fresh in the kitchen, top boss, hit that like button and also let me know where are you watching us from. I really appreciate. We have top bosses from South Africa, Zimbabwe is in the building, Kenya, of course, at number 1. We also have top bosses from UK, we have top bosses from USA, Canada. We also have another top boss that is very ardent fan of Top Heights and is watching from where? UK is in the building right here. Thank you so much, Top Boss Lee from UK. We also have another Triple M is from which country? Canada. Thank you so much. Say hello to Sparky, that lady electrician right there in Canada doing the most. Canada has amazing ladies, starting with our very own Triple M Power Solutions. Yes. Oh, Melvin is in Nandi County. Thank you so much, Melvin. Chamge, do you greet like that? All right. I hope he will say missing. Incredible. When it comes to, do we have another one? We give him a shout out, or her? Kevin. Kevin from Kasarani Mwiki. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Any other? All right. Probably they will join as we go on. Anyway, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for saying where you're watching us from. All right. So when we get to the cooker, top bosses, we also require, no, before we go to the cooker, we were at the sockets. How many circuits do we require for a 4/5 bedroom master and suite? So now, narrowing things down, the distribution board that is right here, the ground floor, we say that this is the ground floor. We know that the kitchen most definitely will be on the ground floor, cannot be having the kitchen upstairs. So the kitchen will be there, all right? So allow me to erase somewhere. Let me erase this point here where we have the pipe work, Bible aga, the Bible aga here. Do we have anyone from Kisii? Wakire? We don't have top bosses from Kisii. Oh, missing. Because of that greeting I gave him. Chamgay, missing. Thank you so much, Melvin. Awesome. All right. Do you have any other top boss? Okay. When it comes to the sockets, my top bosses, or basically the power outlets, do not overthink it just because you have had 5 bedroom. Do not overthink it because this is just another bedroom. All right. So we require 20 ampere circuits or MCB. That is what we're discussing at the consumer unit. So you require 20 ampere MCBs for a 5 bedroom or a 6 or a 4 bedroom. Okay, we require to go to a 6 because we have top bosses who have money. Out here, people have money. We have Triple M from Canada. Let me not get started with our top boss Lee. Very wealthy person can even go to a 7 bedroom mansion. People have money here and I'm connected. You need to stay closer to me, my top bosses, because I have friends who have money. When we talk about 20 ampere MCB circuits, all right, these are for sockets. Now, for a 5 or even a 4 bedroom apartment, all the sockets, you know. So what I will do this. In the ground floor, what do we have? I will ask myself that question. We have a dining room. We have the sitting room. By the is a sitting room the correct term, or what do you Gen Zs refer to it as? Living room. God damn. So I'm an old millennial. You need to bear with me. We living with you are staying or you are lefting for staying. Oh, living. Telling you I'm working with Gen Zs here. What an honor. What an honor. Rejuvenating my days when I was a young boy. Feels great. Living room, my top bosses. So living room plus dining room, I will combine those ones and even have 2 MCBs. Does it make sense? So if there is a guest room, ground floor, all right. So in many cases for our clients that we work with, they usually have a guest room, ground floor. So I will combine that, okay? Because when it comes to the bedroom or the guest room, you need to ask yourself, what is the likelihood of connecting a heater there? Very, very minimal. In fact, it will, in many cases, you find that it is only one in the bedroom. The guest room is also part of the bedroom, okay? So if we're talking about 5 bedroom, just know that this guest room is part of this. Does that make sense? Okay. The guest room is also all ensuite. So definitely we have the dining, the living, as well as the gives 2 MCBs. You can divide those circuits. And then another thing is in the kitchen. Wow. I don't know why I've said wow when I mentioned the kitchen, but anyway, the kitchen gives us life, isn't it? We get life from the kitchen. So when it comes to the kitchen, we have the electric cooker. Look at my handwriting. Damn, I should have enrolled in in arts class, isn't it? What do you think about the handwriting, Maggie? It's incredible, isn't it? All right. Thank you. So the kitchen, we have the electric cooker. We also have the sockets, and here sockets. So here we cannot loop these sockets in the kitchen with any other because we will be using a 32 ampere circuit breaker for the kitchen sockets. Why? Because there is a high chance that in the kitchen you will be connecting the microwave, be connecting the electric heater in there, the electric kettle, and these are power hungry appliances. I'm avoiding to say power monsters, but you can go with that as well. But this one draw a lot of current, so we don't want to make a mistake on that. The cooker will also have its own 32 ampere MCB, all right? And what other thing, very important for me to mention is that this distribution board, there is a lot of connection that will be happening here. So you go with a 16, not M, you go with a 16-way distribution board at the common area. Someone will ask, can I install a 3-phase distribution board in the ground floor or in this kind of a setting. I remember when growing up, I tried to convince my father to have a car radio in the house and have several speakers in each and every corner of the house. I was met with this answer: let everything belong to where it is intended to be. The car radio needs to be in the car. A system that is intended to be in the house should be in the house. And that hit home really hard until today. So why would you have a three-phase distribution board in a single-phase installation? Why? Instead of doing that, I know many people will say that, you know what, a three-phase distribution board has a lot of provisions. Uh, okay, I agree. But we have allowances in the distribution board, a three-phase distribution board for the red phase, the yellow phase, as well as the blue phase, all right? But again, in other countries, in USA as well as Canada, we usually not refer to them as red, yellow, and blue. We refer to them as L1, L2, and L3. That is for the three phase. So why would you have a distribution board for three phase in a single phase installation? That is a waste. Instead of doing that, because I know you want a lot of provision, simply go with a single phase 16-way. Single phase 16-way consumer unit, isn't it? And then first floor, we can lower that to around 12-way or even a 6-way. And then at the attic, we can have a 10-way. So you find that you may ask yourself, how many circuits do we have in the attic? We have for lights, of course, even if it is a single bulb, that is a circuit. It has to be protected independently. For the sockets, remember in the attic, you can have something else. You can even be powering a pump that is in the ceiling. Can we have a pump in the ceiling really? I'm not so sure. Maybe it may make a lot of noise in there, but I don't know. But I think you can have something else. You can have an RCCB in there. So probably you require a 6-way consumer unit, not a 10-way like I've indicated here. That might be too much. But again, we also need to factor in future improvements, future advancements. What I love to refer to when dealing with our customers here at Top Heights, we normally say, in case we want to scale, in case we want to scale that wiring, are we able to do so? Do we have the provision? All right. Now, when it comes to the kitchen, I think we are done with the kitchen. Now we will go all the way to another. Do you have any question? No question. Awesome. Awesome. So we have agreed that the ground floor we have 16-way. We can have from here we will have a circuit that is going to the servant quarter. All right. And you also need to control that servant quarter from here, assuming that you have identified that there is a fire in the servant quarter, right? And you are not able to access that servant quarter. So the first thing that you need to do is to switch off the power in that servant quarter. How do you do that? Have an MCB that can be able to be switched off or trip, or it can be easily accessible. All right. Also, in many cases, you find that we also have a circuit that goes all the way to the gates. Why the gate? You find that in many homes, they have the automated gates, automated gates. So when you are giving the customer the quotation, you need to factor in these. Number one, all right? So the you realize that in this video or in this stream, we are mentioning things that we didn't mention when we were talking about a 1-bedroom or a 2-bedroom or a 3-bedroom. Because in many cases, you find that those are just apartments upon apartments. For this type of setting, you find that these are single homes owned by investors or people. So that is why we can mention about automated gates, because this is as an own compound, has an automated gate, number one. Number two, it has a pump. Number three consideration is definitely the electric fence. electric fence. Another key feature is the CCTV camera, CCTV cameras. Okay, let me just go with that camera. Another important thing is that we have, Margaret, what else do we have in there? What else do we have? We have automated gates for that wealthy person. We have the pump. We have the electric fence. We have the CCTV camera. Security lights. Thank you. At the gate, isn't it? Security lights. What else? Security lights. We can also have. What else do we have, top bosses? Let me know in the comment section. What am I missing? This is an on compound. Peter. At the gate. Huh? Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, alarm. Thank you. Alarm, yes. Alarm system. What? Electric bell. No, it's different from this. Yeah. So actually, the alarm, you find that in many cases, we have a manual alarm and an alarm that is connected to the electric fence. In case you touch the electric fence, apart from you getting shock of your life, you also trigger the alarm, isn't it? So we will get to demonstrate that in our coming videos. That is why I'm telling you, my top boss, if you are watching and you have not subscribed, subscribe, because we'll be talking about this when we'll be tackling the electric fence as well as the alarm systems in these homes. Incredible. Now, my top bosses, when we get to another aspect is at number 7 is the access system. Really? Or is the access system part of the no? Yes, the access system. That is where before you get to the gate, you have to key in some password, isn't it? So this is the access system. So the access system has to be supplied right there. So you need to consider, because remember, this customer who has their with their property, this is not just any other customer that you're dealing with. The moment they say, I have a 4-bedroom all-ensuite, 5-bedroom all-ensuite, you need to have all of these at your fingertips. At the fact that they have their own gate, which is automated, all right? They have access. It means that someone will be knocking at, not knocking. Someone at the gate will be pressing a doorbell. And apart from that, someone in the house will, with a screen, right? They will have a screen here. They have to see who is this person that is knocking my door. Do we have, hey, Salamanda. Do we have prior agreement that they will be visiting? So who are you, my friend? Who are you at the gate? So they usually have a camera somewhere here. So not a camera, this is a screen, but they will have a camera. So the moment you press this button and the bell in the house rings, okay, they will definitely come to a screen here. That is what we are talking about, the access system. They will come to a screen here and check. If this customer doesn't want to walk all the way from the main house to come and open the door, they will simply, once they approve that this person, we had an agreement, they are coming, they will simply press somewhere and the gate opens so that this person can come in. Another important thing is the CCTV, like we have mentioned here at number 4. So this CCTV will also be able to assist this homeowner. You know, they will also have another CCTV here. This is also another secret that I'm giving you, my top boss. There will be 2 CCTVs side by side with each other, so that these clients, they will have a screen at home as well. You know, apart from this access, they will see, okay, Irene who is coming. Okay, before we let her in, what if she's been forced, because they know that she usually visits, what if she has been forced to come and open the gate and give access for thugs to come. So that is where now the CCTVs come in. Because of these two CCTVs, these customer viewers will access the screen and see from these. Behind the Irene are there thugs. All right. In front of Irene are there thugs waiting on standby, so that the moment the gate is opened, they enter together, isn't it? So that is very, very important. Also, sometimes you find that whenever the homeowner is returning home and they are in a vehicle and then the gate opens, thugs follow either with a motorbike or with another vehicle or on foot. And once they access, they definitely either do harm or even steal. We want to ensure that someone who is in the house, who is supposed to open this door, gate, assuming it is a slide gate, they will use these cameras. If there is any suspicious person that is following the owner of the home, they will hesitate to open the door, which is an automated system that is activated from the house and it opens the door. Remember the gate. Remember, for this gate to open or to slide, it has to have a motor. The motor has to be supplied with power, and these cables also have to carry with them heavy current. And that is where now we require also another MCB. So I will not really go into the details of how many MCBs we have, but let me just list the things that you require, so that when you are designing the circuit, instead of going with, I don't know, a 4-way consumer unit, majority of the people are joking. You find that someone has a 5-bedroom or a 4-bedroom, and then they go ahead. In fact, it is an all-ensuite, and each and every bedroom with a restroom. Hey, bedroom with a restroom. Yeah, I'm a rapper. Give me the mic now. You find that these 4 bedrooms with 4 restrooms, meaning 4 instant showers, which are actually supposed to have different circuit breakers, have a distribution board with a 4-way consumer unit. My question is, my top boss, what are you even thinking? Where is the RCCB placed in the first place? Do you know the purpose of a distribution board? Yeah. So, like we said, it is supposed to protect the user. It's supposed to protect itself against self-sabotage. It is also supposed to protect itself against, it's supposed to protect the investment against fires or fire breakdown. So now we say that when we talk about safety, always factor in an RCCB. When we talk about an overcurrent, top bosses, my mic still on? Yes. When you talk about overcurrent, we are referring to a DP MCB, my top bosses. When you talk about a short circuit, okay, short circuit. We're talking about the various MCBs. So by the time you have the MCBs, you're supposed to ask yourself, have I protected the customer against a short circuit? Have I protected the customer against an overcurrent by installing a DP MCB? Before you design a 4-way consumer unit, I don't know what could be your problem, because I've come across that. And here I will also remove the blame a little bit from the electricians. To find that a customer has not yet engaged an electrician, but has decided to do this, to engage the person who was doing the plastering work, you know, to have the boxes. Now you may wonder, a person who is plastering, how do they know the design of the electrical? They will just come with an electric box and fix there and plaster and move on because they want to get paid. They cannot stand an electrician who will stop their work or their pay simply because of those boxes, or they're waiting for the electrician to come and design. So the customer also has to carry some blame for this. You are supposed to engage an electrician before the plastering work has been done, so that when the electrician is designing, they will always design the correct boxes, the correct fixtures that you require. In many homes that we have gone, we have been forced to remove the 4-way consumer unit that people installed previously. Why? Because we stand with more circuits in a home. There is a home that we visited which had actually 3 bedrooms and a master and suite with a 4-way consumer unit. I talked to the owner and we agreed that we will get rid of that. I will be showing you very shortly in our video, in our subsequent videos, top bosses. So it is very wrong because that 4-way consumer unit will be lost as we install a 10-way or a 12-way consumer unit. So always ensure that you engage the right professionals prior to you building that home. My top boss, I know that has given you some value. Hit that like button, and also if you have not subscribed, subscribe. If you have any question, let me know in the comments section or in the chats. Do you have any or any comment or any shout out? Who? Frank. Mm-hmm. I have just joined. Help me more. Oh, Frank. Yeah. Thank you so much, top boss Frank. Yeah, it's Frank. Yeah. So ensure that the best thing that you can do just because you have joined right now. The good thing about our platform is that these videos will go on to live here even after the stream has ended. The best thing that you can do, my top boss, is to subscribe so that even in future you get a notification of when we are live streaming. Another important thing is that you can always go back. You can always not go back. You can always come back to our channel, which is Top Heights Electricians PLC, and watch the videos that we have done, including this one. You can always replay it back. So you will find a lot of value from this. And let me tell you something. If you are very keen in our today's video, if you go back and watch this video from the start to the end, you will gain a lot that you would have wasted so many years to understanding. Like what we are talking about here, CCTV. You know, the one thing that can help you get a job from your customer is if you understand the industry, if you give the customer the solutions to their problems. Imagine a customer who is actually fearing for his security and in many cases the security of their loved ones, and you show up and give these solutions like we have done here, and then you design this system for the customer. They will love you for it. They will always want the work to be done by you. They will even refer you to their friends and relatives and their colleagues. What is more important in our industry than a referral? My top bosses, hit that like button if that is a lifetime value that you have gotten today, my top boss. Allah. Moving on, we were actually discussing about a very important concept, the underground cabling, my top bosses. The underground cabling. Here is where now we were discussing that. For instance, for the gate, and we have a motor here, we require to have an underground cable. So this cable has to be, we refer to it as an armored cable. It has to be armored, isn't it? All right. As I take a sip of water, top boss, let me know, what else have I not mentioned when it comes to these access areas, to these parts that I've mentioned here, whether it is outside? Where else do we require power? Assuming that this customer has a swimming pool, what will we require to supply in that swimming pool or a gazebo? Top bosses, let me know in the chats as I sip some water, courtesy of our top boss Maggie. Thank you so much. The best of the best. Mm. Mm-hmm. The challenge I have right now is one gang. One gang is still challenging me. How is it connected? One gang. Yeah. Awesome. We have already done a video on that. One gang switch wiring. Yes. And that video, I think, is how to connect what is it? A switch to a light bulb. We have done that, isn't it? So they can definitely go and check, and we'll also be sharing that on the description or even on the comments so that you are able to access it very fast. Who is that has asked that? Thank you, Frank. Tumekuwa on saa ngapi? 65. Oh, 65. Kwa hivyo niende nikiwaenda kama nimechapa na watu kutu sawa. Thank you. Now, my top bosses, we are going on, and before we end the stream, let me know where you're watching from. And also, if you have not subscribed my top bosses, you're missing a lot. Every time that I host this live stream, I'm very happy because I'm learning as well as refreshing myself. For instance, when it comes to this provision of, solutions to the many problems that our customers experience. Did you know that we have customers in the diaspora, be it USA, Saudi, be it UK, be it Germany, who consult us in matters of electrical installations. If they have issues, they always talk to us. If they have properties that they are developing and they are seeking our consultation, we are always there to help. We are found in Nairobi, Kenya, and we definitely wish to share our contacts with you, my top bosses. It will also be on the screen on this. If you'll be watching the recorded version of this video, it is +254 711 34 34 12. So if you have any type of work, be it electrical, be it solar, be it maintenance, maybe you want us to check your electrical installation if you feel that it is faulty. And in many cases, the one indicator that your electrical installation is faulty is that you are paying a lot of bills than you used to pay. All right, you are paying exorbitant bills, okay, than you are supposed to be paying, isn't it? So we will check your electrical installation. And what's more, the juice is here, my top boss. If you want to go solar, we will also check your electrical installation. In case the installation is ready for solar, we'll give you a green light and be like, you know what, go ahead and install solar. Your electrical is perfect. It can be able to work with solar. Because remember, in case that electrical installation is faulty, the lifespan of your solar power will definitely be reduced. Assuming the inverter was supposed to go for 15 years, you will find that the inverter will only go for 5 years and have issues. The battery will not last all the years that it was supposed or meant to last because of these faults. And for us, we go and check your property for all those errors and we rectify so that you are solar ready. Incredible. Top bosses, we are about to end this stream, but what I need to emphasize is that when it comes to the choice of cables, it has to be copper. When it comes to the MCBs, when it comes to the consumer unit, ensure that my top boss, you go with the right one. When it comes to the switches, the sockets, ensure that you go with the brand in your country or in your region that you know is a quality brand, so that you don't make life-threatening mistakes that will cost your property, cost your wiring, because the wiring for such a massive project is very, very expensive. Might even run into millions, my top boss. Ensure that you protect that. But most importantly, ensure that you protect yourself as well as your loved ones against any electrical hazards or any issues that can cause any danger to their skin or to their health or even to their life. My top boss, I really, really do appreciate for the work. I really appreciate for you tuning in. For top bosses who have contributed, thank you so much for the likes. I see Triple M doing the most. Really, really do appreciate. Thank you so much to our Director Lee, for being here. Thank you so much for the work that you do. Thank you so much, my top boss Margaret, for always doing the most behind the scenes. I appreciate. And also special thanks to you, my top boss, who is watching, contributing. I also have a lot of top bosses who are joining as members. This means that they have parted away with their money, to support this cause. Thank you so much. I also appreciate you who has always liked our stream, our videos, interacted on the comment section, supported us in other platforms on Facebook, this is YouTube, on TikTok, and also other platforms. Thank you so much, my top bosses. On behalf of our team, my name is John Gatehi, and this is Top Heights Electricals and Solar. Goodbye for now.